Grand Rising. Just another day. But today could be the beginning of the life you really deserve. Today I'm going to be reading from the scholar Black Dot. And the name of the book is Hop Decoded. We're going to be on this for a little while. So just wanted you to see what it is. In order to get this book, you got to go on Amazon. It's $800. So it's a great investment. But let me begin. Let me introduce you to the Matrix. Warning. This book is not for everyone. If you feel that there's nothing wrong with the current state of hip hop, then this book is not for you. If you feel that gangster rap, rolling on 20s, violence, drugs, and videos with half naked women in them has elevated hip hop as an art form, then this book is definitely not for you. But if, on the other hand, you feel that turning on your radio and listening into the same rap songs that are laced with negative lyrics over and over, watching soft porn or graphically violent videos while reading glossy hip hop magazines that endorse this way of life has shaped the minds of our youth and are collectively being used as part of a mind control operation and mentally and spiritually enslave future generations, then welcome to Hip Hop Decoded. Walk with me as I uncover this conspiracy, as well as many others involved in the culture of hip hop. We'll look at hip hop from its early days when B-boys and B-girls represented for the love of the art form to what it has become today. But make no mistake about it, this is not a book about the history of hip hop. It's a book about the mystery of hip hop. We'll look at our four elements of hip hop: DJing, MCing, breakdancing, and graffiti as they relate to the four elements of our glorious past: the drum, the oracle, the dancer, and hieroglyphics. Together, we'll add the fifth element, which is knowledge, to explore this connection with what Together, we'll add the fifth element, which is knowledge, to explore the connection and what effect it has on the future of hip hop. At times, this book will not read like an ordinary book. This was done purposely in an attempt to break your thought patterns into fragments and descramble the matrix program that we currently operate within, which tells us how and what to think, even when it comes to hip hop. Reading in this manner will help decode and process this information properly. For example, I may start a story and then abruptly stop it, only to continue with 100 pages later. This is done because in order to understand the rest of the story, some may have to become familiar with the information that may sound foreign to them at the time. Otherwise, they may dismiss it as something false or impossible. I'll also tell fictional stories with subliminal, true undertones aimed at your subconscious mind. Some of my articles about the government, mind control, and hip hop are specifically designed to stretch your imagination because, remember, if you can't even conceive it, it's easier for them to achieve it. I'll use a combination of articles, stories, poems, rhymes, illustrations, and visuals in an attempt to create the perfect platform for each individual to process this information. It's easier for some to visualize, while others learn through stories or can hear truth being spoken to them. Our ancestors used all of these formats to teach, and I'll keep with that tradition. I'll explore the possibility of some rappers being government agents and the secret agreements reached to keep the masses at bay. Then I'll uncover the theory of music having the ability to heal people and and the government conspiracy to tone down and distort the sound of music. I'll decode why hip hop videos are dangerous. I'll also reveal the hip hop relationship between blacks and Jews, the satanic signs and symbols in hip hop and the Illuminati, and explore the possibility of hip hop having its own secret society. A lot of this information will simply be my opinion, but that doesn't mean it's not laced with truth. Try not to allow the mind control program of the Matrix to tell you that if a story doesn't have proof, references, sources, or quotes, that it's slander or has no validity. That's just a box they've set up to keep you thinking within it and to keep you focused on using recycled thoughts and ideas as opposed to trying to think outside the box in pursuit of an original thought. Truth is something that you can feel in your heart, even if you can't prove it. In order to get a full understanding of this book, you are going to have to feel your way through it. On the other hand, there will be plenty of articles that are well researched with quotes, sources, and references that are strategically planted between my opinions to give you a sense of home if you ever got lost operating outside the box that the Matrix has set up for you. Yet there are boxes within boxes within boxes that are all controlled by the Matrix. I'm simply attempting to provide a gateway from one box to another for those who are ready to think outside of the box that they're currently operating in. This is a work in progress. I'll take it as deep as I can as far as my own understanding of the hip hop matrix is concerned. At that point, it will be the duty of someone with an even greater understanding to lead us into the next box until there are no more boxes left to master. However, the matrix of hip hop is ever expanding in its attempt to keep our people on lockdown. For every box we master, it stays 2 boxes ahead, setting up programs that counter the next trend, style, even state of consciousness that hip hop is heading toward before we even get there. Make no mistake about it. We're at war on a physical, mental, and spiritual level. Hopefully, after processing this information, you'll be able to function in the matrix of hip hop without being of it. Once armed with this knowledge, it's the responsibility of each of us to become Morpheus in search of the one who's ready to be unplugged. That person then becomes Morpheus in search of another one who's ready to know the truth about hip hop. Then each one will teach one until we're all free of the matrix. Remember, I can tell you the truth about hip hop, but then I'll have to kill you. Not physically, but kill your old way of thinking until you become born again and are able to see the matrix of hip hop for what it really is. Once you're born again into the true knowledge of hip hop, then they'll have to kill you to protect the matrix from being decoded and destroyed. So ask yourself, am I up for the task? If so, then follow me as we enter into hip hop decoded. Man, I started reading this yesterday and I just thought it was so dope because the first part that I read, it was like it was saying all of the things that I've been trying to tell people for years. Sometimes I have a hard time connecting with people, and I know that these people have an understanding similar to mine, but I also know I actually really sacrificed and fast on things like TV, radio. Like you won't. It's rare that you catch me listening to the radio. Now, don't get me wrong. I love music. I love dancing. I love real hip hop. You know what I mean? I love knowledge. I love learning. And I love sharing that knowledge and building with others. But I find it very difficult. I'm 43, and I'm telling y'all, when I say it's difficult to find people, it's one thing to have a conversation with somebody, but it's another thing to have a meaningful conversation that's going to lead to a solution for me and you or our people, right? And those that know me know that's what I'm on at all times. But I go to my bro, I see him, you know what I mean, and he pull his joint out. When he pull it out, I'm looking at it, and the first thing that he go to like sums up everything that I've been saying, and I'm like, oh wow. So I hop right in, you know what I mean? So I just started reading it today, and I figured we probably gonna do a few of these, you know what I mean, just to give people just to give people some different type of information. Ain't y'all tired of seeing the same thing? I'm tired of seeing the same basketball teams, football teams. I don't even watch sports, but I know about it because I grew up with all of that. Like everybody I know, they on it. You know what I'm saying? So, but I don't watch TV. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I haven't watched TV. I'm not saying I haven't been watched shows or nothing like that. And I'm not saying that it's something totally wrong with that. There's something wrong with that if that's all you're doing. If that's all you're doing, because that's what's running your mind. That's what's running your subconscious. But when the last time you picked up a book? I know y'all have heard the saying, yo, if you want to hide something from a black man, and when they say black man, they don't necessarily just mean black man, black person. Ain't got nothing to do with your gender, your sexual preference, because you was this before you was anything else. Before you had a gender, you definitely had an ethnicity. Your DNA say it, feel me? But back to this hip hop decoded. When I open a book, I'm talking about my first 4, and I didn't read it. I didn't start at the beginning. My brother Shango gave this to me. Well, he didn't give it to me. He allowed me to read it. And the first thing he did was put it on his chapter. Now, me and Shango, we, kept in touch, hey, what's up or whatever, but I ain't seen him because of the pandemic. And like, I'm not going to say a year, but definitely like 6-8 months, something like that. You know what I mean? But finally, we done linked up. And the first thing he do, and he always do this to me, whenever I come through, even if I'm coming through every day, he always give me something nutritious. See, and this is the difference between your people and the people that say that to your people. See, your people are giving you life because either you selling life or death. Either you attracting life or death. Either you moving to build up life or receive death or give out death. You know what I mean? And it's the first thing he gave me. Like, I'm like, boom, I'm reading it. It was so deep, so fast. I was like, dang, it was the We Be Like Roaches. So if y'all see my live on Facebook, that's what it was. But the thing that's crazy is this say Hip Hop Decoded. And everyone that know me know I love hip hop. Man, I got thousands of rhymes. You know what I'm saying? Lyrics and poems. And I even got books y'all don't even know about, you know? But it's time for those of us like 40 plus, not even, you know what I mean? Maybe even 30 or so plus. Like our elders are here, but they don't got the energy we got. They ain't got the strength, the physical strength that we got. You know, mentally, I'm saying they on a whole nother page. But yeah, it's time for us to step up. You know what I mean? We are the leaders. You know, it's time for us to step up. So I'm just sitting here in awe by this book because I've been looking for, I really wanted to write something like this, but the fact that this brother did it, and this is the crazy part, he wrote this book in 2006, it's 2021. So as I go through this book, you'll hear me update certain dates in real time. You know what I mean? So, but I could talk for days and I don't want to talk your ear off. I want y'all to see what this is about. So I'm gonna hop right into the second chapter, I think it is. This here is the hip hop fast and ritual. Now, hear everything here because this is beautiful information. I love this. Chakra illustration. Your root chakra is red. Here, let me just show y'all. You feel me? There are 7 chakras, each assigned a certain color. Why did that just turn green? Oh, maybe because I'm too close to the screen. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think I was just too close to the screen. Chakra illustration. Under the skin, we are nothing more than light beings fueled by light energy. There are 7 major wheels of light that run from the base of the spine to the top of the head. They are each color coded. Each one has an element that it represents and a distinctive function. One activates the chakras through meditation and certain spiritual exercises. The higher the chakra activated, the greater the spiritual insight. The ultimate goal is to awaken all 7 of the chakras to become fully illuminated and become one with the Supreme. The hip hop fasting ritual. Wait. Before we proceed any further, there's something we must do to ensure a safe trip so that we don't get caught up into thinking the matrix of hip hop is real or locked into a negative frequency that's hard to escape. We must take a hip hop fast and do the necessary rituals for protection. Fasts are taken for many reasons, some spiritual and some for health purposes. In this case, our hip hop fast will represent a little of both. The foods we eat can bog us down, especially if these foods are heavy. It requires a tremendous amount of energy to process this food. This energy is drawn from all parts of the body, including the brain, to get the job done, leaving the body weak and the brain drained and ready to shut down. That's why most people need a nap after a good meal. It gets worse when the type of food we eat is added to the equation. You know what they say, you are what you eat. And foods like meat, which carry a dead vibration, and dairy products, which carry a low animalistic vibration, force us to think on those levels. The same rules apply in terms of hip hop. Pardon. The same rules apply in terms of a hip hop fast, except instead of food, it's food for thought that we must regulate. If all that we eat from hip hop magazines, radio stations, and video shows are money, holes, and clothes and other negative vibrations, then that's all we're able to act upon and live out. If food is to provide nourishment, then food for thought is to provide knowledge. Food that is bad carries a lower vibration. Food that is good for us carries a higher vibration. Fasts are needed to cleanse the mind and body and assist in raising our vibrations to a level that allows us to maximize our brain potential. This will definitely be needed when we begin decoding the matrix of hip hop. This will also keep our brain sharp so that when we read, hear, or see something that's garbage, we take the garbage out instead of depositing it into our subconscious mind where it can fester and contaminate our thought process. Before entering the matrix of hip hop, I recommend that you take a 30-day hip hop fast. I'm way ahead of that. But if you've never done it, just hear the brother out. Just hear him out because you can make your own music. You can make your own lyrics. You could jack people beats like Ice Cube did, jacking for beats. That's where I got that from. And I know others have said it, but that's what I do. I see a beat and I see something that somebody did and it might be fire. And I just put my own thought process to it. I might even take their style and go with it, but normally it always transmuted into something that came from me. So it's going to end up sounding like it was just all inspired by me. But let me get back to this. That means do not read any hip hop publications. Do not turn on BET. A lot of y'all addicted. Or watch any hip hop videos. And don't listen to the radio during this time. Try not to even think about hip hop, period. This will not free you from the matrix because the system is too sophisticated and you will still have to leave your home where you will most definitely be affected by hip hop. However, it will allow you to think clearly and get a better understanding of what the matrix of hip hop is. However, it will allow you to think clearly and get a better understanding of what the matrix of hip hop really is. If you could take a regular fast during this time as well, that would be even better because it raises the vibration even higher. Now that the easy part is done, it's time to focus on the more controversial part of our two-step assignment, the ritual. The word ritual alone makes a lot of people nervous or spooked out, most associated with being evil, satanic, paganistic, of the occult, or some magic mumbo jumbo crap that doesn't work anyway. If the current box you're operating from won't allow you to get past these myths and misconceptions, and you do not feel comfortable doing a ritual, fine. Skip over this section. I'll understand. However, you better understand this. The very people that run the hip hop matrix, that have us on physical, mental, and spiritual lockdown, do believe in rituals. Not only do they believe, but they perform them every chance they get to conjure up energy to keep the matrix in power. Pay attention to when they drop certain movies, albums, and major events. It's usually revolving around certain moon cycles, the winter and summer solstices, spring and fall equinoxes, or special star alignments that enable them to tap into that energy to use as they please. I don't have to tell you how or what they choose to use that energy for. I think you already know. Meanwhile, we sit back in amazement and wonder how such a small group of people can rule so many. We don't believe in this science, and it's the science that has us in awe of them. The sad thing about it is, it's our science. If they can use our science to muster up energy, magic, or protection, can you imagine what we can do if we tap into our own science? Some rituals are very simple, like burning an incense, pouring libations, and calling on your ancestors, beating on drums to awaken spirits, or using the four elements, earth, air, fire, and water. Other rituals are more advanced and require knowledge of star alignments, moon cycles, chants, alchemy, which is the transformation from one state of form to another, and many other elements, which I won't get into. There are plenty of books on the subject, from beginner to advanced. This is a hip hop ritual, which won't even take most people out of their element. For instance, if you don't want to burn incense, burn an L, a Dutch, or a Philly. It's really the same thing, or a fauna leaf. It's really the same thing, a form of alchemy. By transforming the filling, which is a solid made up of herbs from the earth that are kept together by licking it, which is water, then adding fire to it, inhaling it into the lungs and blowing it out into the atmosphere, which is filled with air. That's air, fire, and water right there. If you don't want to beat on drums, then play some banging drum beats, some hot joints that you can just zone out to. The effect will be the same. The spirit will awaken within you. And lastly, pouring out libations and calling on your ancestors is no different than pouring out a little liquor for your dead homie. In this case, pour out whatever you love to drink, whether it's water, Cristal, or Belvy. But instead of calling on your ancestors or dead homies in rhythm with the beat, call on the ancestors of hip hop like Tupac, Biggie, Big Pun, Big L. Even call on those ancestors of hip hop whose names we do not know, but gave their life in the name of real hip hop, like, well, never mind. Then after every name, chant real hip hop. State the purpose of the ritual, which is for protection and intervention to reveal the matrix for what it really is. We're calling on the fallen soldiers because if at any point we get lost or trapped, we want to be guided out of the matrix by real hip hop. At this point, you can add whatever you like to the ritual, but end it by chanting real hip hop 3 times. The rituals that you make up on your own are very powerful because they're designed especially for you. Now you're ready for the matrix of hip hop. I'm gonna just fall back there and catch us on another platform at some point. I'm quite sure we're probably going to be on Facebook or YouTube in a little while. I just wanted to give y'all a little something because I know I take a long time to get on here, but I be having a lot to do, and it's only one of me until we can multiply our efforts. Man, I only can give you what I can while I can. But with that, I'm gonna say Grand Rising. The universe is conspiring to bless you exponentially. Open up your mind. Step outside the box, man. And it's okay. Everybody don't wear their money. It ain't, and it's not all about money. A lot of people be thinking I be tied up into the money and all of that. If I were to work a job, for every hour I work, I would get paid 17 cents because of the way child support is set up, right? But if I go and I work for myself, or I work with my brother or my sister, right? I get paid all of that up front, and I can take whatever I want out of that to pay child support or do whatever, pay whatever bills, you know what I mean, or debts or obligations that I have. So I think completely different than most people. I believe more in myself and my efforts and rely on me more than most people ever will because they used to being told what to do and showing up to trade their time for money. I'm outside the matrix. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying I see things differently, and you will not understand me if you don't make time to get to know me and to hear how I think. Nobody can tell you who I am better than me. And I can't tell, nobody can tell me who you are better than you know? But I feel like it's a lot that's going on right now. Y'all see so much in the news. It's so much I could talk about. But I felt like this book touched on so many things that relate to all of the stuff that I want to talk about. So this is the reason why I'm reading this book. Plus, just something different from what I'm accustomed to reading to y'all. You know what I mean? I like the way the brother expresses himself. He very talented, man. If you can afford it, I would suggest you go and grab it. It's called Hip Hop Decoded, The Black Dot, and the foreword is by Grandmaster Cass. I'm telling you, it's a dope book. I'm not even finished. I'm pretty much like just to about the 7th chapter, but I got a long ways to go. But I'm trying to knock this joint down in 3 days. So I'm gonna give you a few chapters. I ain't gonna spoil everything, you know what I mean? Because when you read a good book, the reward is the understanding of everything you read. So I'm only gonna give you a little bit because I would recommend that you go and buy this book from this brother. It's dope. So listen, have a great day, and don't forget the universe is conspiring to bless you exponentially. Everything starts within the mind. You can create and have the life you desire. You just got to get out there, you know what I mean? Or get with people that's already on it, like myself. With that being said, I hope your today is great and your tomorrow is greater. Peace.